Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race Race and Strategy Guide. We are once again off to Japan, we're once again off to Kyoto Driving Park, but this time it's Yamagiwa in reverse, so just the standard track in reverse. We are in the Group 2 machinery for this week's race. We have some very interesting settings as well. We've got 12 laps to get round, tyre wear at times 3, fuel just at times 1. We have all 3 of the soft, medium and hard tyres available, and as far as I know from the rules and from what I've been able to learn, there is no mandatory rules in terms of tyre compound or pit stops. BOP is on, damage is light, it's a formation start, and slipstream is real. And yes, it feels like for the first time in quite a long time since I can remember that PD have given me some hard work to do in terms of putting this video together. Lots of cars to test, lots of strategies to work out, and lots of things to fail, as you will see in due course. So with Group 2 being a little bit of a mixed bag at the moment, with the 2016 cars, the 2008 cars, and then the McLaren F1 and the Mercedes CLK bolted onto the side, I decided I would do a little bit of a replication of this week's race in all of the cars and see what one was going to be the best on the tyre wear, because from what I could see in the settings, if you could do the no stop on the soft tyres, then that was easily going to be the optimal way to do it. So having driven pretty much all the cars with the exception of the 2008 NSX from Honda, because we know that just kills you regardless, my kind of conclusion was that the Lexus from 2016 was the best car in terms of tyre wear, and was also very much on pace along with the 2016 Nissan GTR. The 2016 cars have a clear pace advantage around this track because they have much more downforce than the other 5 cars in the category. Easily feel that through the final sector, the downhill sector, as you go sort of, would you go left, right, and then into the final corner. You can easily go full throttle in the 2016 cars through there, whereas all the other cars with a little bit less downforce, you have to give a slight little lift. The 2008 cars were particularly bad on tyre wear as well, whereas the McLaren and the Mercedes CLK were actually okay on tyre wear, but they were so far off the pace that kind of being better on tyre wear or decent on tyre wear is not really going to come into play. So having tested all the cars, certainly not comprehensively, but having done some laps on all of them and got a kind of gauge on how the tyre wear was going to work, the car of choice for me is going to be the 2016 Lexus RCF. Easily on the pace of the GTR and definitely appeared to have a better tyre wear. Now it did look to me from the test that I did, so 9 tyre wear at times 9, 4 laps would replicate 36 laps on the soft tyres, same as 12 laps at 3 times tyre wear, that we should be able to do the no stop on the soft tyres. However, when we actually went into the actual race settings, it turned out getting the 12 laps out of the Lexus on the soft tyres on a no stop strategy was, I'm not going to say impossible, but looked to be extremely difficult indeed. Now I did have several attempts, this was my first attempt here. We didn't really do any tyre saving in this one, this was just a case of getting a gauge on it, and we got to, well, we didn't even get to the end of lap 10, so 2 laps short on the first attempt. Attempt number 2, we did a slightly better job, but coming into the final corner here on lap 11, the tyres were gone, so again, a good lap short. Did seem like it was going to be very difficult to actually do that tyre saving, so we went for attempt number 3, we really went very gentle on the tyres, and we got round to this corner here. Now the front tyre was actually looking quite good, but turns out that I'm pretty good at saving front tyres, maybe not so good at saving rear tyres. Round the car went, into the wall, broken engine, and that was pretty much enough for me to rule out the no stop on the soft tyres. Now I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm pretty sure some alien out there who's incredible at looking after tyres will give this a go and will succeed with it, but it appeared to be beyond my capability, and I would suggest it's probably beyond 99.9% of drivers out there. So what was left to do was to then test the one stop strategy, just doing 2 stints on the soft tyres, and compare that against a no stop on the medium tyres. Forget about the hard tyres, there is no strategy that I can see that would be viable where the hard tyre would be of any use whatsoever. This is pretty much a straight contest between the one stop on the soft strategy and a no stop on the medium tyres. So we're doing the soft strategy here, and we are going to come to the end of lap 6, and we are going to come into the pits and check out that pit loss. And yeah, well, the fuel, obviously fuel being at -1, we don't need to worry about the fuel. But what sort of pit loss are we going to have here in the Group 2 cars at Yamagiwa? Now, it's traditionally a very short pit stop, very short pit lane, and Group 2 does tend to be quicker than Group 3 and Group 4 as well. And yeah, proves to be no exception here whatsoever. Stop duration 3.2 seconds, pit time around about 16 seconds. All in all, you're only going to lose 12 seconds making a pit stop. So that is going to be very interesting indeed, because obviously the soft tyres are going to have a reasonable advantage over those medium tyres in terms of pace. So I could already tell at this point it was going to be pretty close between the two strategies. Now, I was quite happy with this run on the softs here. Lap times were fairly consistent. The chicane halfway through the lap is a little bit of an anomaly. It's hard to kind of get that consistently fast all the time, so that's probably where the kind of anomaly comes in the lap times. But certainly in the second stint we were pretty much on point, sort of lapping in the mid-22s for the duration of the second stint. So a 16 minutes 48.490 for the one stop, 2 stints on the soft tyres. So 16 minutes 48, that is what we're aiming to try and beat here as we do the no stop on the medium tyres. Now, I jumped on to the medium tyres, and this was the only run that I did, and to be fair, this was my first time driving the medium tyres at the track, having done a lot of laps on the soft tyres, so do bear that in mind. But it became immediately apparent to me that the medium tyres were a lot slower compared to the soft tyres than I was expecting them to be. I thought the difference would maybe be around about 7 tenths to maybe 8 tenths. It's a fairly short lap, but there is a lot of corners here. There's a lot of fast corners that do really you can really exploit that grip of the soft tyres. And I could see we weren't probably quite on pace for a lot of the laps that we needed to be, and particularly towards the end here we kind of sort of drifted into the 24s, but we probably still should have been in the high 23s, so there was definitely time to find on this strategy. A 23.7 was our best lap, up against our best lap of a 22.5, so a 1.2 second difference in terms of the best laps. And the no-stop medium strategy actually coming in 2.4 seconds slower. So that's fairly interesting for me. I actually thought before I started that the no-stop on the mediums would maybe even be slightly faster than the one-stop on the soft tyres. But the way the tyre wear model works now, you lose 0 performance on the soft tyres at all. Under the old tyre model, I think towards the end of the stint you'd probably be losing maybe half a second on maybe a sort of laps 5 and 6. But under the new tyre wear model, you don't lose any performance. That also kind of then works the same for the medium tyres as well. Even though we went a little bit slower at the end, I certainly don't think that was reflective of what the medium tyres could do. So to recap on the strategy and go through the pros and cons, in clean air, when you've got no traffic interruptions, you've got nothing really working against you, you can just put in the lap times that you are capable of. It does look like the one-stop strategy on the soft tyres, because of that performance difference between the soft and the medium tyres, and because of that fairly short pit lane only being 12 seconds loss, it does look like that is the slightly faster strategy. Now, there was only 2.4 seconds in it, and I think it could possibly even be less than that if I was really to nail a good run on the medium tyres. But you know, the numbers don't lie. The one-stop strategy on the soft tyres does appear to be quicker. Now, do bear in mind, we just stopped at the end of lap 6, but the way the tyre wear model works now, you get at least 8 laps at least, I would say, of ultimate performance on the soft tyre. So you could pit as early as lap 3 or 4 if you were at the, you've got a lot of shenanigans going on in front of you, a lot of people costing you time. If you were maybe getting held up by traffic, you could pit as early as lap 3 or 4 onto a fresh set of soft tyres, and they should last to the end of the race. And alternatively, if you're quite happy, you feel like you're in the flow, you can maybe go as long as lap 9 before you pitted for a fresh set of soft tyres. Now, bear in mind, as I think I've ably demonstrated, doing a no-stopper on the soft tyres is going to be nearly impossible. But again, if you're going to do that soft strategy, and there's quite a few people maybe on the medium tyres, you're going to have to do some overtaking. And with the dirty air around here, and with the dirty air in general in Group 2 cars, overtaking is not going to be a simple process. Moving on to the no-stop strategy on the mediums, it doesn't look to be a million miles off the one-stop strategy on the soft tyres. However, the danger of this strategy is if you are maybe one of the very few runners out there running the no-stop on the mediums, and you've got a lot of soft tyre runners behind you, well, we all know that people can lack a little bit of patience when it comes to the old overtaking, and you could find yourself losing a lot of time as you are shuffled back down the grid, which may well not be optimal. I suspect that the strategy that most people will go for as the week progresses will be the one stop on the soft tyres, but I do think the medium tyre strategy, or the medium tyre no stop strategy, has definitely got potential to work, particularly if you're at the back of the grid and you like to try and make up some positions, let the cars in front of you fight, wait till they make their pit stop and then see if you can jump as many of them as possible whilst they are in the pits, and then trying to catch back up with you. And then of course you've got the dirty air. How easy will it be to overtake? Not at all is definitely going to be the answer to that. But yeah, very, very interesting week indeed. I've made my kind of feelings clear on the tyre wear model that I'm not particularly happy with it, the new tyre wear model, but I can see maybe what PD were trying to do, because if this is what the race is going to be like going forward, then fair enough. If they can kind of incorporate several different strategies into it, then I am not going to complain too much more. But as I said, very, very interesting week, and I can see pros and cons for all the different strategies out there that could potentially work, and that's what we want. That's exactly what we want in our daily race season. Let's move on to a lap guide though. In the 2016 Lexus, it's a 1 minute 20.5. I shall very quickly talk you around the lap, tell you where my braking points are, and yeah, hopefully it'll be helpful in some way, shape or form. Okay, so approaching turn 1, I'm looking for the 100 metre board, but you can brake well beyond it, maybe around about 80 metres down into second gear for turn 1. Seems to be a much tighter corner than you think. Easy on the throttle a bit too early and go off the track. Looking for the 50 metre board, down a gear, chuck the car in, use a lot of curb, on the throttle as early as possible as you carry that speed up the hill. You're looking for the start of the curb on the left hand side as your braking point for the second of the hairpins in this track. Again, seems to be quite tight, but they're tighter than you expect, but get on the throttle as early as possible. Got a very tricky downhill section now. You're looking for the curb on the right hand side, just as you get maybe about halfway down that, I come off the throttle, down a gear, down another gear, and then just navigate it through that super fast chicane. Lots of fun actually in the reverse iteration. Coming up to this extremely fast right-hander, just come off the throttle a little bit, a little dip of the throttle back on, soft tyres will grip up, get it into the apex, and you'll be surprised by how much speed you can carry through that corner. Coming to the downhill slalom section of the track in the 2016 cars, easily full throttle, no issues whatsoever, and I use the start of the curb on the inside of the track as my kind of reference point. Down 2 gears, again you can carry so much speed through that corner. Just have faith in the downforce, faith in the tyres, the car should grip up, and it's a 122.552. I think I might have said it was a 120.5. I can do 120s during this race this week. We'll be doing pretty well, that's for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much the guide wrapped up. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover in this one. Again, looks like a really interesting week. I just hope that we can actually, it's not too bad following some other cars around this track in the dirty air. It's the one thing I can't really test when I do these guides, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like a bit of Group 2, and yeah, I'm going to try and make a no-stopper on the soft tyres work at some point this week. That is my aim. So join me for some live streaming this week if you can. I don't know exactly when I'll be on, but we'll definitely be on at some point. So if you can join me for that, please do. If you've liked the video, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. I shall catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.